Well, hey guys, check it out. I'm just gonna be completely honest and upfront with you. Um, I was trying to make some videos to help people, and my friends, my fellow tribute artists. But I've got to start talking to you guys like you're here in the room. I mean, I'm a jokey person. I'm a ham. I've been a ham my whole life, and I don't know. I think that kind of goes along somewhat with the entertainer persona. Um, I mean, it's just I'm always cracking up, uh, try to make people laugh as much as I can. Life's too short. There's a lot of things that happen in this world that are very ugly, and life's too short. I mean, you really got to live every day to the hilt. Do what you want to do. Get out there and make things happen for yourselves. And one of the main things that I have learned along the way is, well, actually, it's not really. It's something that I've learned, but it's also something that my dad told me years and years and years ago, and it always stuck with me. And that is, you can only do the best you can do, and you can't do any better than that. And that's true. And in my opinion, if something goes wrong, if something goes horribly wrong, and it looks like everything is complete crap and it's not going to get any better, just always remember, things turn around. Things turn around. Tomorrow's another day. It's only temporary. So, if you're having a hard time out there, you're trying to make your dream happen, and things aren't going exactly like you want them to, just always remember, it could change tomorrow, or, in a couple days, or next week, I mean, God never puts more on you than you can handle. And if I have never learned anything else in this life, I learned that. But I want to talk to you guys today about, of course, making your dreams come true and happen. And I'm here to help you, of course, along the way on your journeys. And one of the first things that I want to tell you is something that I learned, and it kind of woke me up, actually. I learned a lot, through my life and going through things and doing things. But that is the creed of every Elvis artist, Elvis tribute artist out there. And you got to remember this if you don't remember anything else. You are doing a tribute. Don't get a big head. Elvis was one of the most humble people you would ever meet. And that's the bottom line. He never thought that he was any better than anybody else. He actually was told a number of times that he could not sing. You're probably thinking to yourself, what? What, Elvis? No, But yeah, no, for real. His choir teacher told him that he could not sing. And of course, Elvis, being who he was, of course, he kept on doing his thing, and he wanted to be a gospel singer. Is what he wanted to do. Sing the Lord's music, which is really cool. And I mean, which he did in his career. He did some, but but the one thing, and this is what every Elvis tribute artist needs to remember, is there's one, and it's not really a creed so much as a rule, and that is there was one Elvis Presley, and you are not him. Remember that, okay? You're there to do a tribute. Don't get a big head. Don't get on stage and be thinking that you're Elvis. And you're untouchable, and there's a lot of people out there that get big heads, and they think that they're the real deal. They're the reincarnation of. No, you're not. I've got big news for you. You're doing a tribute to the King of Rock and Roll. When I was on stage, when I would take that stage, I was Elvis on that stage. But the second I walked off that stage, I become Brad Collin once again. And that is, and my real name is not Collin, that's my middle name. But that's my stage name, and that's going to remain like that because that's how I want it. And it's easier to pronounce than my last name, so. Do yourselves a favor. Always remember what I told you last night in the first video. Now, I've got to address that. I put my first video up last night, and I don't know, man. It's coming up as a draft, and I don't know what to do to upload it. I mean, it's uploaded. It's on it's on YouTube, but it says draft, and it's dark. I don't know what to do to fix it. You can watch it, but it's not showing up on YouTube. It shows up on your phone, and then you can put it on YouTube if you want to. But anyway, whatever. That's my thing. I'm a newbie. Like I said, I haven't done any video production. That was all my wife. I performed the songs. I did the stage. I was the performer. She did all the behind the scenes stuff. All the jumpsuits, helping with my hair and all that stuff. But that was years ago, and things have changed dramatically since then. So, and another thing is, if you think about what Elvis wore, Elvis had a certain style. And in my opinion, and the way I feel about it, if Elvis didn't wear it, you shouldn't wear it either. Not to do Elvis. If you're performing a tribute to him, and you want to get as close to the look as you possibly can. If you're in casual, take some artistic license. Throw some stuff together. I've done it. And one of the things that I always ran into when I was out and about around in town and doing some different things, I'd be out with my family eating or whatever. Well, when I was in Las Vegas, after I moved to Las Vegas, I was Elvis all the time. And I have to say it. I mean, I had the look. I didn't act like Elvis all the time, but I had the look and the hair, the clothes, it was all just to, amp things up. If people saw me out and around town, a lot of people they would approach me, and it gives the tourists a kick, you know what I mean? They come here, a lot of the tourists come here to see Elvis. I mean, this is Elvis's town. So, of course they want to see They want to see us out there. And they do. And they find us. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you hide. They'll find you. And they do. And it's cool. It's really cool, man. I have a lot of people that come up and approach me about, doing pictures. And, back in the day. Not so much now. Because now I don't rock the Elvis look that much anymore. I enjoy wearing the hair every once in a while, but I've gotten gray, and I've got a lot of gray. For 52, man, I got a lot of wear and tear. I'll just tell you. And for some tribute artists out there, they don't have it, like right off the bat. And I'll just tell you first and foremost, you're either born with this or you're not. And if you're not, so be it. But there's things you can do, to get yourself going. And, you work on the vocals. If you don't sound as good as you think you need to sound, well, work on it. Rehearse. You can always get better. And that's another thing that I've always learned. It's never too late in life to learn. Yeah, you're never so good that you never have to learn anything else again. I mean, I was still doing other songs when I was, when I started doing Elvis. And that brings me to another point. Always have a backup song, and always be learning new stuff, man. Always be learning new material. If you know Burning Love and Can't Help Falling in Love and Love Me Tender and a slew of songs that Elvis did, never hurts to have another one in your arsenal. There was a song that Elvis did years and years and years. I was gonna try to get this song down, get it situated, because it's pretty much an Elvis staple, and that is Jailhouse Rock. Now, Jailhouse Rock, for me, was a very, very hard song to learn vocally, and I still won't do it really with backup tracks. I'll do it in the 70s, but I will not attempt it in the 50s without a band, because it's way, way, way too high. And most guys can't hit the notes like Elvis could hit the notes. They fake it, and that's what, we always say it, fake it till you make it. Hey, you do what you got to do. But the fact of the matter is you're only as good as you are. And, you can always get better, but you're never going to sound and be as comfortable with every single song and every single note that Elvis did, and that Elvis could do and was. His register was unreal. The falsettos that he did, and also Mia, It's Now or Never. I mean, and there's so many different ways, and how the songs were orchestrated and put together. And Elvis did a lot of that. Himself. He never wrote any of the songs, but he arranged them, and he went over the composition of how he was going to do a song on stage before every show. And it was going to be done a certain way. There was going to be a time when this happened, when he wanted the vocals to come in here. He would talk to the Sweet Inspirations, and he would talk to his background singers, He wanted things a certain way, man. He wanted things a certain way, and I don't blame him. And it all paid off, because I mean, you listen to the orchestration on some of his arrangements, that some of the stuff that he did in Vegas, later on in his tours. It was absolutely incredible. It was absolutely incredible. It was awe-inspiring. But let's see, another, I've got my hit list over here. Another thing that we should probably talk about is when I first came to Las Vegas, we touched a little bit on this yesterday. Well, last night, but like I said, I don't know if you guys saw the video or not. When I first came to Vegas, man, I had to bust it. I mean, like I said, we were living in our car. It was 125 degrees, and I forgot to throw in, we didn't have air conditioning.
According to airnow.gov, the air quality in Sunrise Manor is moderate, with an air quality...
Hey, Alexa, shut up. Don't you love it when she just chimes in, like out of nowhere? Like she thinks she hears her name and just jumps right in there. Ah, the beauty of AI, yeah? But that's our modern technology, man. Some of it's better than others, but, you know, it's the world we live in now, so. But anyway, my air conditioning did not work good for me. It didn't work at all. It didn't work good for me. It didn't work at all. In our car. And I had a 94 Lincoln Town Car. It was a nice car, you know, until I got T-boned on my way to the chapel one night, which really, really irked me, because it wasn't no fault of mine. And the guy ended up not having insurance, and he said he was gonna fix it, and I didn't know, you know, the ins and outs and all that stuff. I should have paid better close attention in guy's insurance information, but I figured I'd let it slide, you know what I mean? And it came back and it bit me. It bit me hard, because then my car started falling apart, and it didn't matter. It was time, you know, it was time for a change. Well, then that's when we ended up getting our van. And, you know, we only paid like $700 for our van, which was cool. Now, I've owned like 56 vehicles in my lifetime. I can't believe that I've owned that many, but I have. And that said, I remember a day back when I was just getting, you know, basically hadn't got my license yet. And I was all crying over when I was going to get my first car. And, you know, of course, my mom, I learned on an 84 Ford Chevy Chevette, which was a 5-speed. So I learned how to shift gears pretty early in life, which served me well, because I love to drive a manual transmission, but they don't make them so much anymore. But I've had my share. I've had my fill of those. But man, I'm going around this way and back around, and anyway. So anyway, we had to get the air conditioner fixed. When we first came to Las Vegas, we were doing the thing in our car, you know, doing the living situation. We'd be out scouting around, looking for work every single day. You know, that said, it was a matter of working for ourselves. And both me and my wife were sign painters by trade, window painters, and I was an airbrush artist. So we would go around to all these different daycares and find places that either wanted children's murals or painting or signs or whatever. But so we existed on that for a minute when we got here. But the market here, it wasn't, you know, it was all sewed up. Nobody wanted anything really that I mean, we got a few jobs. It was okay. For a minute, it kind of sustained us. But then I got in with the Garden of Love. I went in for the audition and got that situation. And they were nice enough to give me enough money to get me and my wife into a motel room, which was like a dream come true. It was crazy. And so then we started living a little better uh, circumstances, being what they were, and I started working my tail off. And there was a lot of things that I had to do when I first started out in Vegas. I had to get an MP3 player because I didn't have one. I had to get the backup tracks, and back then it wasn't a matter of getting an MP3 player like right off the bat. I would go and I would get a CD player, and I would get a karaoke disc that had, like 13 songs or something on it. And those are the songs that I did. Fortunately for me, there were a lot of songs that Elvis did that came on one disc. When you get into the fancy stuff, like, getting into more of the faster, not so well-known songs, like mostly what I dealt with was a karaoke disc called Karaoke Bay. Now, Karaoke Bay, it started out, it had Can't Help Falling in Love, Love Me Tender, It's Now or Never, just a lot of the standards that worked well to do wedding chapels with. And so that kind of suited me. But they were willing, and they gave me a lot of money up front to get me sorted out to where I needed to be functional, so I could work and make the money and get myself built up. Well, so then we did that, and then from there it was a matter of going from chapel to chapel to chapel, getting my name out there, and I started developing a good reputation because I had a really good sound, and of course my look was good, and but I had a lot of people that would come into the wedding chapel. There was one time I'll never forget it. There was a couple that was coming in, and I swear, man, the dad, he was a trip. He was just starstruck by me. And he came in and he shook my hand, and I swear the man would not let go of my hand. He was like, "You're shaking my hand." He's like, "I have all your records," and see, and that was just cracked me up. It was like, I'm not Elvis, right? You know that. But I just let him live in the fantasy, whatever. It was a good tip. It was a good day. But I mean, they just fell all over themselves. My sound. A lot of people, they can't believe that Elvis's voice comes out of my mouth when I open, because I speak like him when I had teeth. When I was on top of my game back in the day, all dressed up to the nines, walking in with the full jumpsuit on with the belt and the sunglasses and all that stuff. And see, that's another thing that I don't particularly care for, is all these chapels, they want you to wear sunglasses. Well, that's cool, to a certain extent, that's all right. But the one thing that I didn't like was Elvis never wore sunglasses on stage. Maybe once or twice, just fooling around. But he never actually wore sunglasses to perform a show. Like to walk out on stage, be wearing sunglasses and wear them throughout the performance. He never did that. And so I didn't like to do it either. But a lot of people at the chapels, the owners or whatever, they wanted you to wear them. And hey, that was your job, that's what they That's what they wanted. Because of course there's a lot of chapels that didn't necessarily care if I wore sunglasses or not. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. And then, of course, I'd always put them on when I'd leave. You know, when I got done doing the wedding, I put them back on. Hey, no big deal. But, you know, it's just, it's a huge, huge learning curve. Once you get in with the agents and things start functioning and start rolling for you, and you start getting auditions, and I mean, you look around and there's all this different stuff that you can do. I always say in Las Vegas, you never know what's going to happen. Because I'm telling you right now, on a Wednesday, I got a phone call, and a friend of mine that does Johnny Cash is like, hey, you want to go to Hawaii? And I was like, what? Go to Hawaii? And he's like, yeah, they're going to pay you $800, and we're gonna do a gig there. We're gonna fly out Friday, and we're gonna land at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then we're gonna be there from Friday. The gig's on Saturday night, and then we leave. We have all day Saturday before the gig to kick it around or whatever, and then Sunday we have, you know, the gig's done. The gig is gonna be on Saturday night. And it's like a 3-hour thing. And so then, you know, after that, Sunday, we have all day to ourselves doing whatever we want to do. Everything is provided. Accommodations, food, you get a per diem, you know, all that stuff. And then you were able to go and swim on the beach in Hawaii. Oh, come on. You know, it's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. And they had 2 sets of Frank Sinatra's. They had 2 sets of Elvis's. No, they didn't. They only had 1 Elvis. It was just me. See, I'm getting ahead of myself. They had 1 Buddy Holly, which was my friend, Jim the Man. 2 Marilyn Monroe's. Oh, I know what it was. They had a couple Rat Packs because they had 2 Sinatra gigs, and one of them was Frank, the Voice, who was a dear friend of mine, CJ Sinestro. I mean, man, we go back. When I first got to town, man, that's a story too. It's crazy. But you know, I'm getting on here. I'm getting off the beaten path again. But so anyway, then we flew in. We got all checked into our hotel. I'll never forget, it was in October. So it was beautiful weather. I had never been to Hawaii before. The beaches and the ocean was absolutely beautiful. We rented this little tractor thing that pedals with the big wheels. You know, we was out there in the ocean and whatever, and then it was crazy because like a week later after we got back from Hawaii, there was a shark attack at that beach that we were staying at. But there was a place on the beach. It was literally, we were 2 freaking blocks from the beach. Our hotel room was 2 blocks from the beach. We ate off the food trucks. It was unreal. Unreal. My room had a little patio. You could go back there in the back and just kick it and sit around. We had a pool. They had a pool. The place was called Breezers. And I'll never forget it, man. It looked like something straight out of Blue Hawaii. It was unreal. Absolutely unreal. But I want you guys to, you know, come on back and share some more stories with me and some more stuff. As we get on into this thing, I'm going to be teaching you on how to do some stuff, you know. There's some makeup stuff, temple stuff that we're going to get into on how to do the temples, how to style the hair, you know, and just making yourself look great and getting ready for that first gig. So come on back, and I will check you guys later. Have a great day. Have an awesome weekend, and stay cool, man, because it's hot out there.